welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Marysandra, aka Sandra Baby, aka Designer Special. So today I'll be giving practical tips and steps for those at the professional level of ICAN examination. So if you have just finished writing your skills level and you have scaled through, whether you wrote 1 or you wrote 10 or you wrote the all, congratulations. And for those who were recently inducted, I congratulate you. Now I want to share practical tips on how I scaled through my professional level of the ICAN examination, because I also wrote 5 at the professional level and I passed the 5. So first of all, there are 5 examinations at the professional level. We have corporate reporting, we have strategic financial management, we have auditing, we have taxation, and we have case study. Now, what is required in corporate reporting? Corporate reporting is more like an extension of what? Your financial reporting. But what is required at the level of corporate reporting is what? The understanding of the standard, not just knowing what it says when it comes to measurement or any other thing, measurement, reporting of the standard, but application. Now, I'm also doing this also at this current level of my postgraduate studies. Now, if you are given a question, a case study question, your ability to identify that it is IAS2 that should be applied in this question, or IAS, or whichever IAS that is applicable. Now, what I would advise for those who are for CRE is that first of all, you need to go back to your FR summary. Now remember, I always say that you must have summary, because you can actually not write ICAN examinations and scale through that easy. I don't say scale through at all without having summary. So for CRO, I will advise that pick up your FR summaries and get an understanding of the standard. Now study your past question and be able to relate, to see how case study questions and which standard is required in each question. Now that's for FR. Then for audit is more of theory. So please, you really need to do your summaries in your audit examination. You can't afford to just read part, because all this is very cumbersome. And during my time, I was so relaxed when it comes to auditing. I felt that okay, I'm very good at theory courses. So I actually did my summaries, but I was giving more time to my calculation courses and less time to audit, which I always say you give more time to also courses that are your weaknesses and give less time to courses that are your strengths. So I felt like audit was my strength and I gave less time to it. It may have worked for me, but please, audit is very technical. Audit is you are not just, I can do not just expect you when they ask you what is ethics to just give them ethics can be defined as a way of life, or maybe for in a profession. No, you have to be detailed, and your explanation has to really show that you are a professional student. So if you are going to be giving a definition or an explanation that a skills level, or those in foundation level are going to give at the professional level, it may not work out very well. You have to acquaint yourself with the auditing standards. You may even be defined according to the auditing standard. It says that audit ethics is so and so. So that is what is required for audit. Then for tax, please, no matter how very good you are at tax level, study your tax very well. Now, tax has always been my strength, even at the university level. I remember I represented the southeastern region in my final year in the tax competition at Abuja in 2016, and I came second runner. That was the 3rd position in the whole of Nigeria. So when I was studying for my tax and at that kind of level, I was like, oh, tax. But there was one thing that really helped. I brought out my university handout. I brought out my summaries at the university level, and it really helped me, because writing the 5 courses at once in your ICAN examination is really not easy, and combining it with work especially can be really, really stressful. So I had to read my university notes, which at the university level I already had very good notes in my tax. So your summaries, then solve a lot of questions, attend tutorial classes if need be, and that's for tax. Then for strategic financial management, God help me and help you and help us. People who are running away for PM, you will run and come and jam SFM. to run and to jam in SFM. So when it comes to SFM, please, when the human strength fails, the only strength that can help is the supernatural. So please, you need supernatural strength in all of them, but you need a higher level of anointing in SFM for those who are running away from calculation. Because should I put it that way? But just as CRO is the mother of FRO, that is how SFM is the mother of PM. So you need your summary at the PM level. You need your PM summary to be able to understand SFM. Now, why am I saying this? There are some questions in SFM that can refer you to relevant costs, refer you also to other PM topics, which just solving a question in SFM, you may have to apply 3 knowledge at the performance management level. So why am I saying this? You need your PM summary, 1. You need your SFM pack, and you need to also practice your past questions. Now, you need to acquaint yourself with relevant costing, activity-based costing, and other subjects at the PM level to be able to scale through SFM. So that's for SFM. Then for case study, I always tell people that if you did your final year project yourself, and you understand all the 5 chapters in final year, when we talk about introduction, when we talk about chapter 2, review of related literature, when we talk about chapter 3, research and methodology, when we talk about chapter 4, research analysis, and chapter 5, conclusion, summary, and recommendations, you have no problem with scaling through case study. I do tell people this. In my university days, I went for a tutorial class to be able to understand what research is. So when my tutorial master at case study class was giving us hits or what, okay, you have to do your first page, your blank page, your second page, you have to do introduction and everything. It was very easy for me to relate. I was relating to everything he was saying very easily. Why? Because I did my final year project myself. But hey, if you are not in that shoe, it's very okay. Attend tutorial classes, try and get someone who can explain better for you, who I can explain better to you rather what case study is all about. But me, I always tell people that case study is not like a final year project. If you're able to do your final year project very well, if you're able to do it well, I wrote 5 courses at professional level, and I scaled through the 5 at once. But my case study was the highest. I think I scored 70. Well, that was the highest score I had at professional level. Others were like 50 to 55. But hey, I wrote once and I passed one. That's the most important thing. But what really helped me was that I already had an understanding on what writing a project was all about, so I could easily relate to it. But hey, if you haven't, first of all, when you're writing case study exams, please follow the time yourself very well and be able to scale through. So for case study, I cannot actually give a blueprint, but what I would say is you need a reserve knowledge of what you have to be able to apply to case study, because at the end, case study question can be testing FRE, it can be testing CRO knowledge, it can be testing SFM knowledge, it can be testing performance management knowledge, it can even be testing tax. So at the end of it all, case study covers virtually other 4 in one. But the most important thing is that there are some persons who may not even understand the question which was set at case study level, that just because of their formats, their format and their presentation of their answers gives them the pass mark on 50 and they scale through. So that's why I'm saying it is good you understand what final year project writing is all about. It helps you table your answer very well, that even if you are not so good at what the question is all about, it can really help you better. So that's basically how I scale through the 5. Now remember, I always mention that give more time to courses that are your weakness and less time to courses that are your strength. And please, if you fall in the group of those who cannot write the 5 courses at once and scale through, do well to write maybe 3 and pick up the remaining 2 later. But it is always advisable to write the 5, because you never can tell. Those you may think you will fail, you may but no, failure is nobody's portion, and you may end up even scaling through all at one sitting. So please, now if we now want to talk about how to read for the 5 courses, if you are writing the 5, Now I would say in my own time, because I already had the understanding. So let's say Monday, you can't do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday for each of them. It won't work that way. So you can do 2 a day. You can apportion 2 a day, and the days you apportion to courses that are your weakness will be days that you have very free time. So if you feel like Sundays now are always free for most persons, and maybe one of the weekdays, apportion those days for courses that are your weaknesses, and other days that you may be more busy for courses that are your strengths, so that you'll be able to scale through. Please do not forget that you need to also study your past questions. Pack contains everything. I wouldn't really say this or that textbook when it comes to ICAN exam, but if there is any textbook you know that when you study and you'll be able to understand clearly what is being explained in that textbook, please do not fail to buy such, especially for maybe courses like SFM. But for CRO, audit, and tax, please, your pack is very okay. If you can hit your pack very well for the three of them, you are good, you are home and fine. You don't even need any extra source of extra source of knowledge, or how is it said. So that's that for that. So I wish you all the best. I pray for the God's grace that surpasses all my understanding to keep abiding with each and every one of you, that as you study, you understand and retain, you retain and store, and at the moment where you need it the most, which is at the moment of examination, you'll be able to write well. You'll be able to write what is needed to give you the pass mark, and the grace of God that worked for me during my own time will work for you. The truth is about that the grace of God is well sufficient for everybody. Just tap into it. So please, if there are any questions you need to ask, do feel free to send your mails to my email. For the meantime, pending when I get a phone number that will be connected to WhatsApp for WhatsApp messages only. Please do not forget to share, like, subscribe to my YouTube channel, as well as share to others, so that they will share to others to join this wonderful accounting forum. And I promise to post better edifying videos. I'm actually standing in today's video because I will shoot this video today, whether anything likes it or not. So we'll see you in the next video. Ciao.